Rah! Oh, this is big. Welcome to the episode 2. Let's continue from where we left off. Let's get back to our fountain and complete water circulation tests. To continue, I need to put the pump back. From this hole, I'm going to slide the pump in and connect the tubing. And then the cable goes in like this. And then this tube is going to go through here. And then we will adjust the tube length. It's like colonoscopy in here. I'm confused. What is going on now? There's a small alignment issue. Oh, it's because of the cable. This cable is hitting here, causing a misalignment. I need to remove some material from here. At this point, we're gonna do quick and dirty. I'm gonna drill a hole in here all the way down and send the rest of them out. Just to show you what I did, I literally carved a scar there to fit the cable. Now I'm going to redo the fit test and screw it in. Everything is aligned correctly. No more push. Good. Let's screw the pillar back into its place. I'm gonna cut this with some slag. But now we're just gonna do the circulation test to see if something overflows or the speed is good. What's the good speed for this? I left cracks on the top for the purpose of filling this, and it will leak inside all the time so that the pump will have enough water to continue circulating. Because if there's not enough circulation, I will start drilling holes from top to bottom. And you should be able to tell that I have enough water too, because it's like a mirror now. Flat. Okay, it's 11 volts, good. I'm gonna plug it in, run the pump. I can hear it's happening. And it's peeing somewhere else. The adjustment is required. It needs to be something like this. Reducing the voltage is one way to fix this. It's not the effect I want. What you are seeing now is like literally 5 volts. That's the amount of water accumulating on the top. I want water to accumulate on top up until this level. I need to figure out how much voltage I need for that. Before that, I 3D printed this piece and plugged it in there so that I can get a straight water shooting from my fountain before figuring out the right voltage level. Alright, this is 4.8 volts. So this is 6 volts. Let's go 8 volts. At 8 volts, upper pool accumulation is too much, so it's like overfloating. I need to increase the size of the holes at the top. Okay, now I'm going to go to the top of it and open some holes. After extending the hole, I think I solved the over-accumulation issue. Now it's not over-accumulating, but it's still a bit violent. Now I have a new problem. It is called siphoning effect. Once the water level rises above some height, system immediately empties the top section by vacuuming it. I want you guys to hear this effect. Hearable, but let's see. And the birds will definitely get afraid of that. To solve this issue, I designed these pieces to manipulate the flow. By relocating the exhaust holes towards the top, I solved this phoning effect and I achieved to accumulate the water where I want it to be. I also added these half sphere shields to the bottom section to make the water more calmer. I also reduced the tip diameter by using a 3D pen. Now with the same voltage level, the water is going to rise higher from the tip of the fountain. Literally 5 volts, it works. Let's try some fun. Okay, 5.4 volts, 7 volts, 8 volts, 9 volts, 10. That is 12 volts, almost over a meter, but we are definitely hitting outside. 6 volts is good. Another thing I'm doing is to cover this cable by using a 3D pen. Now it is done and there's no more contrast between black and white. And this is how the output of the cable looks like, and that also holds water, so water level can increase more. This is the first time I'm standing right by my water fountain in front of camera. You can see its size. With float, it's bigger than what it does look like. I'm 174. Right now, what I'm going to do is disassemble this thing and move it to the final resting place and connect the electronic box and solar power panel and make it work from the battery and solar panel. Okay, yes. Tubing wise, we're just gonna unplug it from the pump's barb tubing section. Now I'm going to unplug the water plug and release the water. Actually, this turns out really nicely emptyable. Removed and empty. Ow, my finger. My finger is... And there's blood. Blood. I don't know how I did that. Now I'm going to remove all these legs one by one. Alright, I'm going to sit here and drink some water because I'm tired. While I'm taking a break, let's talk about the financials of this project. This project definitely cost more than I expected to be. All the parts that are 3D printed for project is behind me now. Here are our 3 legs. Yes. Here is the pillar. Here is the main base, everything connects to you. Here's a tiny plug. Here is the water tank base where the pump sits and all the water accumulates. And here is the electronics box. Let's shift our focus into solar charge controller, some garden work, and the solar panel placement. When I was designing the housing for the charger controller, I made some mistakes and I marked them down. Then I created the second version, but I made another mistake. Finally, on my third iteration, my controller snapped right in. To match the curvature of the controller for the final version, I did some measurements and calculations, then 3D printed a small portion of it to test the fit. And it turned out great and I applied it to the final version. Now we are going to adjust the cables and attach heatset inserts. I'm going to use a short cable from power button to the controller unit and crimp some quick connect terminals to it. And these crimping tools are awesome. I'm gonna route it through in. And this switch is going to cut off the connection between solar panel and the charger controller. Also, I will be using these waterproof socket connectors. These two are battery plus and battery minus. We're gonna connect these two. I'm gonna fasten these connectors to stabilize and seal the cables in place. As a final step, I connected these cables to right terminals. Leftover connections, which are solar panel ground and power, are gonna get connected in the garden. Since this fountain is going to be outside, I'm going to put the solar panel right here, but I need to clean the grass a little bit. Let me quickly do that. I'm going to take this wood pellet and put it there before I put the solar panels. When my small forests grow back again, there will be time before they reach the solar panel. I'm gonna do it like this. Based on the geographic location I'm living in, I need to make my panel angled 42 degrees from the vertical. Carry this solar panel to its place. Actually, I can screw the legs of the solar panel to this pallet, which would be more secure for the wind. Right now, I'm just going to install 2 more cables here from the solar panel, and then we are going to move forward with the next step. These 2 are coming from the solar panel, these 2 are going to the battery. Let's happily connect our solar panel ground here and fasten this. Like, don't forget, I'm trying to record and do this at the same time. It is not that easy. Cheap terminals are not good, my friends. Also, these 2 cables directly coming from the solar panel. Let's see how much voltage we are getting already. Okay, look at it right now. The solar panel is generating 23.78 volts, which is really nice. Solar panel is working. All I need to do is to connect the rest. And this power cable, which is going to connect to my water fountain system, is going to charge my battery so that it can continuously run in like 6 months to a year. If you look at this area, I'm going to place the water fountain here, but I need to run a cable from solar panel to water fountain. So I'm going to dig a small tunnel here. Let's route these cables through PVC pipes. And it is going to continue going in from here. Now I'm going to bury the entire thing. Here is a closer look. Cables come out from the charger, goes to the underground, routes through the PVC, and comes out from there. To have a stable base, I decided to lay some pavements. And Home Depot needed to access some stocks, so they brought in this amazing forklift and they took it out of the top shelf, bringing down to me. Then I want to share this amazing forklift appreciation video. I got 4 of these, loaded into the car, brought them into my garden. Now I'm going to lay them over there and create a flat base. I'm sweating like crazy, but that's 1 down, 3 more to go. 2 more to go. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this wrong, but we got the
finish this video. I don't need to be perfect. I just need this to finish at this point. This is good enough level for me and for my water fountain. Other side too. I think it's decent. I will take it as a win. Oh, I made it. I'm gonna put the water fountain in here. Also, I'm going to connect the electronics box. So this is the first time I'm going to power everything with solar panel and battery. All right, it's time for me to bring everything here for the final assembly. Next coming up is the e-box here. I'm gonna start by screwing this e-box in position. We're gonna attach everything to here and connect things. My neighbors are probably curious and thinking like, what the heck is he making? They don't know. Maybe they will watch the video, I don't know. This one is going to attach to here. Let's go. So connect one, connect two, connect 3, screw the last leg and stabilize it. Now I'm connecting our first cable into our e-box, which is the pump power cable. Pull it, pull. Now I'm connecting pump power cable into our brain board. Boom. Now I'm going to connect the solar panel into our brain board, and these are the solar panel cables. Plug it in from here. Gonna connect into like this. Yeah, what I couldn't show you before is this. These are the cable connectors that I've been fastening in there to seal the cable entrances. Next thing is to bring the battery and put it in here. It is the heaviest part of this project. Let's attach this pillar one last time, and I need to grab that pump from the hole and attach to the tubing. Pump connected. Pump is going in. Now I can bring the battery, put it in the e-box and do the first power up sequence. This battery is so heavy, I had to do this and I'm scared to drop it to my feet. I hope everything is gonna fit in properly because this is the first time. Woo. Is this off? It is off. Battery is connected. Okay, I clicked the button and powered it up. The order of operation in here is always turn on the e-box and then turn on the solar panel. When you're closing, turn off the solar panel first and then turn off the e-box. Right now the temperature of the battery is 25 Celsius, 12.6 the supply voltage. I can turn on the Voyager. This will bring in charging from solar panel into the battery and you can see that it started charging and I'm hearing the pump working. Let's close this e-box and I'll put water in it. The e-box closing. Sealed and closed. It is time to show you guys the controller system. This is the interface for the controller panel. So I can turn off the system right now and the battery box temperature is 27.9 Celsius. I can see that one. And right now it's on auto schedule. So for my auto schedule, it's like 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. it's going to run. After 8 p.m. it's going to stop running, or I can do manual and it will be basically remove the scheduling. And by using the slider, I can also adjust the pump speed. Let's start with 30% and put water into the fountain and let it start working. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful from a distance too, and it is working. Fountain. I hope the birds like it too. Whoa, what was that about? I didn't plan that. Let me check the controller system. What's going on? Connect to the solar fountain now. Come on, man. Unable to join. Perfect. Dude, we have a problem. What? You cannot do that to me. Why are you doing that to me? So I'm connected to the fountain network. Wait, something is wrong with the code, obviously, even though if I want to turn it off, it's stuck now, it's not turning off anything. Come on, man, we just come this, why? Well, we have to do manual. Why? I just wanted to be happy. Now you don't want me to be happy. So after some debugging, I realized that it's not the ESP32 crashing, it is the MOSFET overloading. That's why it's not working out. I will use this Fluke thermal camera to show you the overload and the temperature of the MOSFET. Right now I'm pointing my camera to that. Yeah, when I look at my MOSFET now, I'm seeing 120. Yep, that's not gonna work out. Let's change it to the new MOSFET. After a small surgery, old MOSFET is replaced with a better one. Right now what I'm going to do is to update the firmware for the small bugs I have, timers and everything, so things do not freeze. It has been more than 4 days since the last bug and it is perfectly working. Let's not jinx it. So far so good. But something is missing. I need the birds to come in.
Before selecting which birds to 3D print, I use this Merlin Bird ID app to identify what birds are already in my garden. And one of them was Northern Cardinal. I jumped right back into High 3D system and start generating new birds. I typed for a Northern Cardinal calmly standing on a flat floor. Then I hit enter and system generated me 4 different options. I chose the one I like, then I click image to 3D button. System immediately started working, and after some time the Northern Cardinal was in front of me and I'm able to rotate it. It looks fascinating. When I take a closer look, I can literally see the details, the beak, the eyes, and I cannot wait to 3D print this thing. High 3D's new model, which is version 3, is absolutely giving significant details. I also quickly generated a small blue jay, and it also came out really perfect. Without further ado, let's fabricate them with Resin 3D printing.
It's gonna be a really nice, beautiful cardinal.
Let's give a nice bath to our birds.
Yes, I got it.
This extremely realistic looking bird generated by High 3D within minutes, and it looks perfect. Also, we need to cook the birds now.
All the details are out there. So cool. Here is our second bird. It is also fascinating. The blue jay. In that case, I'm going to place my own birds. Some hot glue. Now it is time to place the bird 2 right here. Wow, it looks amazing now. One other thing I think I want to do, put a dot on the eye. That's good. That looks fabulous. All I need to do is to wait for real birds to come in. Okay, I just made you guys a fountain and you decided to water in there. Like, can you go up to the fountain? Can you bath in the fountain? No? You're just gonna bath in there?
Let's be quiet, they are here and I'm very proud right now. Look at them, they are drinking water from my fountain. Oh my god, I wish I could zoom in more.
I am building more stuff like this, robots, weird prints and projects that probably shouldn't work. If you are into that, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. And look at it, it looks so cute under rain.